He thought it would be a joke, just a little fun fight to impress his friends. A trained black belt, confident, laughing, pointing at the black cleaner who never bothered anyone. But the moment the challenge was thrown, something shifted in the room. Eyes turned. Whispers stopped. And the cleaner didn't react the way anyone expected. No one knew the silent weight he carried, or the truth hidden behind his calm stare. What happened next didn't just surprise them, it exposed something far deeper than a fight. The real question is, why was he targeted in the first place? If you've ever felt underestimated or overlooked, drop a comment sharing your story. You might inspire someone watching today. And if this story already has you hooked, don't forget to hit like so more people see it. He lived a life most people never noticed, quiet, steady, and far from the noise that surrounded the gym he cleaned every evening. William arrived before sunset, pushing his cart down the polished hallway, his routine as predictable as the hum of the fluorescent lights. He wasn't just a cleaner. He was the kind of man who took pride in leaving every corner spotless, even if no one ever thanked him for it. Most days, people walked past him without really seeing him. But William didn't mind. It was work, it was honest, and it kept him grounded. What others didn't know was that behind his gentle silence was a life shaped by struggle. Moments that taught him strength didn't always look loud or aggressive. He moved through the gym with calm purpose, wiping down mats, stacking equipment, listening to trainers shout instructions as fighters practiced. He had watched hundreds of sparring sessions without ever stepping into the spotlight himself. Before we go deeper, make sure you stay tuned. Every moment here is important, and you won't want to miss how this flips completely in the ring. Keep watching, it only gets more intense. But that day felt different. The gym buzzed louder, the energy sharper, as a group gathered near the ring. William glanced over, sensing eyes lingering on him longer than usual. A few laughs, a few whispers, nothing new, yet something about their tone felt off. He couldn't explain why, but a quiet tension settled in his chest. He continued his work, unaware that someone had already decided he would be part of a spectacle he never asked for. William had no idea the moment that would change everything was already moving toward him. One challenge, one joke, one careless decision away. The laughter started quietly at first, almost like a ripple through the gym, but it quickly grew louder, sharper, focused. William wiped down the mats, trying to ignore it, but he could feel the energy shift. The black belt, a tall, muscular man with a confident grin, had singled him out. "Hey you," he called, voice dripping with mockery. "Come here. Let's see what you've got." William froze for a moment, not sure if he had heard correctly. He wasn't a fighter. He had never stepped into a ring. This was a gym full of people trained to strike, to overpower, and here he was, a cleaner, being summoned like some kind of entertainment. The crowd around them laughed, some jeering, some filming on their phones. It wasn't just a challenge, it was a public spectacle, a deliberate humiliation. He tried to decline, muttering something about work, about not being a fighter. But the black belt wasn't having it. "Don't be shy," he said, his grin widening. "It's just for fun. Come on, prove yourself." The whispers turned into taunts. "Show him what you've got. He's just a janitor." Each word sank like a weight into William's chest. The injustice of it, the way they laughed at him, the way they assumed he was powerless, made his hands clench at his sides. The tension thickened as William stepped closer, trying to stay calm, to keep his dignity. The gym seemed to shrink around him. He could hear the mat squeak under the black belt's feet, feel the heat of dozens of eyes burning into him. Every muscle in his body was on edge, not for a fight he wanted, but for a survival he never anticipated. Then, just as the crowd leaned in, anticipating the spectacle, William paused. He looked at the floor, then back at the black belt, and the silence in that instant was louder than any laugh or shout. Something shifted. The crowd sensed it too, something they hadn't expected. The so-called fun fight was no longer a game. The black belt laughed nervously, unsure now, sensing the weight behind William's calm. He didn't know the story this man carried, the strength built in silence and endurance. The audience leaned forward, the atmosphere crackling with suspense. What would happen next? Would William submit? Or would the tables turn in a way no one saw coming? Every second stretched. Every breath felt loaded with anticipation. The gym, the laughter, the judgment, It all paused, waiting for the moment that would shatter expectations. William's hand tightened around the cleaning rag in his grip, a symbol of every overlooked hour, every silent struggle. And in that charged moment, it was clear, this challenge was about more than a fight. It was about respect, pride, and the truth they were all about to witness. The room went still. Every laugh, every whisper, every footstep seemed to freeze in that charged moment. The black belt stepped forward, confident, expecting an easy display of dominance. William didn't flinch. He didn't move like a man afraid. He moved like someone who had endured far more than anyone in the room could imagine. The first move came, fast and aggressive, a test meant to intimidate. But William shifted, his body fluid, precise, each motion calm yet deliberate. The crowd gasped. This was not the timid cleaner they had assumed. This was a man who had learned to carry the weight of life with quiet power. Every strike the black belt attempted was met with controlled, unshakable resistance. The laughter turned into murmurs, murmurs into shocked silence. The tension built, thick and suffocating. Every second stretched. William's calm stare cut through the arrogance around him, revealing something deeper. He wasn't fighting for fun, he was fighting for respect, for dignity that had been overlooked for too long. The gym, once buzzing with mockery, now held its breath, watching as the assumed underdog defied every expectation. A final move, a decisive, unexpected counter, sent the black belt staggering back, his confident grin replaced by disbelief. William didn't celebrate. He didn't need to. The silence itself was a statement. The room had witnessed the reversal, the exposure of misplaced arrogance, and the quiet power of someone underestimated for being just a cleaner. Every eye in the gym was on him now, not with mockery, but with stunned realization. The moment didn't just mark a victory in the ring. It was a reckoning, a lesson that strength and respect cannot be measured by title, uniform, or color. And as William stood there, calm, steady, letting the weight of the moment sink in, the question lingered in the air, heavy and unspoken. How long would it take for the world to recognize the value of those it so often overlooks? If this moment gave you chills or made you rethink assumptions, take a second to hit like and share it with someone who needs to see this. And if you want to see more stories that reveal truth and courage, stay with us until the very end. The room remained quiet long after the final move. William collected his cleaning supplies, his movements calm and deliberate, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But everything had changed, not just for him, but for everyone who had witnessed the event. The laughter, the mockery, the assumptions, they all fell away in the face of an undeniable truth. Strength, dignity, and respect are not defined by title, status, or skin color. William walked through the gym one last time, feeling the weight of the eyes on him. Some stared in awe, some in shame, and some in disbelief. He didn't need to say a word. The moment spoke louder than any explanation. The black belt, humbled, left with a silence heavier than any roar of applause could have conveyed. That night, William returned to his normal life, but he was not the same man. He had faced injustice head-on and reminded the world that being overlooked does not mean being powerless. The incident became a quiet victory, a testament to resilience, and a reminder of the countless others who navigate a world eager to underestimate them. This was more than a fight. It was a reflection of society's biases, the subtle and overt ways people are judged before being truly seen. It was a reminder that courage can take many forms, and sometimes the most unexpected people hold the deepest strength. And as viewers reflect on what unfolded, the question lingers long after the video ends. How many times do we misjudge, underestimate, or ignore the worth of someone based on appearance alone? How often do we let arrogance or prejudice go unchecked, thinking it's harmless? If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. More stories like William's are coming, stories that challenge what we think we know and show the power of resilience and dignity. William's story is a call to awareness, a challenge to recognize the humanity in everyone, and a reminder that respect must be earned, not assumed, and certainly not denied. The world may still be full of those who underestimate others, but the truth is clear. Strength, resilience, and dignity often come from where we least expect, and when they appear, they leave everyone speechless.